Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 4 of playing Voltaic tasks every day until I'm the greatest aimer of all time. I have a lot to talk about today, so bear with me. In today's session, we played the final playlists on the weakness specific document provided by Voltaic. These two playlists were static and dynamic clicking tasks. Now is where I'll reveal my super secret. I'm previously a world record holder in a static clicking task with over 1,000,000 plays, so this is kind of my specialty when it comes to aiming. Ladies, try and keep your pants on. And fellas, tell your girl to leave the room unless you want to be watching from the chair. First and foremost, I want to address something that used to be more of a debate in the aim training scene. Is aim muscle memory or not? At this point, it's not really a debate. Anyone who's been aim training for a while knows that to call it muscle memory would be blatantly incorrect. This common misconception comes from people who see their flicks get more consistent and mistake it for the muscles memorizing the flick movement. But since aim is so dynamic and you almost never get the opportunity of attempting the same flick twice, you can't define it as the muscle remembering a specific movement. Aim is a hand-eye coordination skill, meaning your brain is taking the information your eyes retrieve and sending signals to your hand, telling them where to move, and this information gets sent back and forth constantly to update the movements as you make them. Knowing this about aiming helps us understand the form required to make a consistent and fast flick. This flashy skill can actually be deconstructed into two smaller parts: the initial flick and the micro flick. The initial flick is the grand movement shooting from point A, the starting point, to as close to point B, the target, as possible without passing the target. Passing the target is known as overflicking, and being short of the target is known as underflicking. From this new position, the easier adjustment you make is known as a microflick. When starting out, really emphasize the two separate movements, and as you get better, the transition will be completely seamless. That being said, it's better to underflick than overflick, due to the fact that overflicking takes more time to recover from. Another common issue I see with people is shooting before the flick is complete. As you're practicing flick form, confirm your shot before actually firing. If you need help getting this muscle memory down, I recommend playing a poke task. These tasks force you to stay on the target for an extra second before flicking off to another one. Prioritizing your accuracy is going to be much more beneficial in the long run, and the speed will follow. A lot of people see Tins playing grid shot and think that that is the correct way to train your aim. You need to remember, Tins is literally known for his aim and used to literally get made fun of in the CS scene for aim training so much. Comparing yourself to his mechanical ability when starting off is a mistake that's going to build horrible habits that may take a bit to unlearn. Once you solidify this form and shot confirmation, you'll start to pick up a rhythm that you can utilize to outpace any previous records you had. If you remember routing from yesterday's video, it's one of the main things that's going to help you keep a consistent rhythm in your playthroughs. While I gave all these tips for static clicking, they're equally useful in any dynamic clicking task. If you don't already know the difference, static clicking tasks are going to have motionless targets and dynamic clicking tasks will have moving targets. If you're curious as to what the 8th layer of hell is like, just play any variation of a dynamic target leaping task and you'll get a pretty good idea. A more dynamic exclusive tip I have is flicking onto the target and tracking it for a small period of time, as opposed to flicking in front of it and trying to time it. Although this may seem harder at first, in the long run, it will train reaction time and increase accuracy. All these tips were things I do actually use and think about whenever I'm aim training or just aiming in general. I really like these playlists because with the simplicity of static clicking, it's sometimes difficult finding tasks that are really going to challenge me and improve me further. But I felt like these playlists did a great job. As for in-game results, I didn't have a lot of time to play Valorant because while I am in the top 1% of flicking tasks, I'm also in the top 1% of aim trainers with a job. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.